Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on The Flash Season 6. So we are back with The Flash in just 2 days from now. As I said in my previous video on The Flash, it has been 2 months pretty much since we last saw the old Star Labs crew dabbing, flossing, and of course, let's not forget Millie rocking their way through the Cortex. Obviously, if you exclude Crisis on Infinite Earths. But that is one of the big things we're going to be seeing in just a couple of days. Our first proper look at the majority, at least, of the Star Labs crew and other characters on the show post-Crisis. We have seen every other show deal with this, post-Crisis world in some way, shape, or form, whether it be in subtle or major ways. So it will be very interesting to see how the fastest man alive and his good old mates deal with it. Now, of course, throughout the video, there's a couple of things here that I'm interested to get your opinions on, so be sure to leave them in the comments section down below. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video, it would be awesome if you, you could drop a like on it, show support and excitement for what's coming. But just a special question for the day. What is one big Crisis change you would like to see happen on The Flash? It can be a bit crazy, but not too crazy. So don't make it that, Reverse Flash is now the guy that, that weird guy that I want my money guy that, speeds to Iris fought. Don't make that a thing, because we don't want him as Reverse Flash. Make it somewhat realistic, but also creative. And just a reminder to those that aren't sure, Batwoman and Supergirl are not on tonight because of the Super Bowl, and they're not on next week because of the Oscars. So we've got a 2-week break for them, but The Flash is back, so yeah. Now the first thing I want to talk about is a topic that we brought up. Was it in my last video? I think it was my last video about some returning characters, some confirmed returning characters, thanks to the showrunner Eric Wallace. So people have been wondering about Jay and Joan, or Jay Garrick and Joan Williams, and whether we will see them in this week's episode. Because, as I sort of alluded to there, Eric Wallace, the showrunner, confirmed that they are alive on Earth Prime. They're a confirmed couple or pair that have, survived Crisis, but they've actually moved Earths. Whether it be they intentionally moved Earths, or it was just something that happened and they ended up on Earth Prime. I'm sure that's something that will be discussed. But the thing that comes with this is that, it's whether, Henry Allen and Nora Allen are dead. That's the big thing, which they should be, which we'll come back to in a second. But John Wesley Shipp, who plays Jay Garrick as well as, Henry Allen, and I guess Earth 90 Flash is also dead. He did retweet my tweet about them coming back and stuff, so he is aware, I guess, that his character is alive most likely. Now, if they aren't in that episode, which I actually don't think they will be, I think it'll just be a reference that they're alive, but if they are in the episode, that's cool, but if they aren't, when could we see them next? And to be honest, I would expect them definitely, or at least Jay Garrick definitely, in that 2-parter when Wally comes back. So he's back in episode 14, but it does appear that episode 13 and 14 will be a 2-parter. So I definitely put my money on Jay at least being in one of those episodes. However, episode 12 does talk about Barry taking a dangerous request or something like that from a trusted source. So maybe that trusted source is Jay, and he's like, yo, I don't have the power to do this. It has something to do with the Speed Force or using a lot of energy. Yo, can you do it? So that might be where Jay is, first appearing or something like that. But the fact that John Wesley Shipp knows that he's coming back is a good thing. So yeah. And one question that did come up so many times once I either tweeted out about the whole Jay Garrick thing or mentioned in my last video, or the video before that, I can't remember which one it was people bringing up the female speedster that he said he was going to train back in season 3, I think it was. And I guess the big question is, will we ever see her? And I'd honestly, if you gave me $100, you're like, Pagey, mate, put some money on this, are we going to see her or not? I'd probably say no, because that was so long ago. There's been no references to her since then. We've seen Jay multiple times since then, or at least we've seen him since then. I don't think it's even multiple times. I think we've seen him once since then. So honestly, it'd be a stretch for me to say yes, he's going to be there. Yes, he's going to have trained her, and then we're going to see her and stuff. However, it would be cool, especially if it happened in that that 2-parter episode where we should see a big speedster team up. So maybe it's a debut of her character then. We were theorizing that it could be Avery Ho. That seemed like the most likely thing, because you're chucking some diversity there as well. And also, she's a pretty interesting character in regards to being fresh from the comics as well. But I don't know. That's like a watch this space sort of thing. But I wouldn't put money on it, to be completely honest, but it'd be cool to see her. But in regards to, John Wesley Shipp playing characters, there was a rumor from Reddit, so that's, Reddit rumors are usually the ones where, fair enough, it's like a plot leak or something like that, but usually when it's a rumor, it usually doesn't play out, especially when it's from Reddit. But there was a Reddit about Henry Allen being alive, being the cliffhanger, which is something I tweeted out. And this was before the Jay Garrick thing. I was like, wouldn't it be cool if the cliffhanger was Henry Allen being alive? And then the Jay Garrick thing came out. I was like, well, that's probably not going to happen. And then the day after that Jay Garrick thing came out, that rumor appeared on Reddit. Obviously, we can't prove it's fake until the episode airs. It seems unlikely that it is going to happen, considering the confirmation of Jay Garrick being alive. And as we know from Batwoman, these doppelgangers can't, coexist for too long. They can be there for a bit, but they can't coexist for too long. I don't think the Flash would copy a thing that Batwoman's going for, especially when it's like Batwoman's main focus at the moment. So I highly doubt Henry Allen is alive, but we'll never know. We'll have to wait and see. Another rumor that's been going around, I know I'm doing a lot of rumors, but I'm just getting them out of the way so I don't have to focus on them in future videos, and rather just put it in this like sort of preview video. But there has been this big thing going around. I don't know where it started from. If anyone has any clue as to where it started from, I'd actually like to be enlightened in the comments. Because I actually have no idea. I tried to do some research about it and I couldn't track it down at all. But apparently, Red Death was confirmed as the villain for this season. I have no idea where that started. People have been saying that other YouTube channels have been saying that that's a fact. I haven't been able to actually find the videos where this is happening outside of one. But it's sort of them using the same thing I'm saying right now, where it's just being said online. Don't trust this, because if you can't locate the source, then it's hard to trust the source, you know what I mean? So he could be the villain. He could be. There's 100%, not 100% a chance, but there's obviously a chance he could be the villain. Bebo could be the villain. There's obviously like a 0.1% chance that Bebo could be the villain. But I wouldn't believe this at the moment, because I actually have no idea where this has started, whether a YouTube channel just made it up for a click or something like that, or maybe just to see if their rumor could circulate and be seen as a fact. So don't know where that started. If you know, let me know, because I'm confused. Super confused. But TV Line, good old mates at TV Line, it wasn't a focus thing on the Flash, but they had a question here from someone about the Flash, and they were able to give us a bit of an answer about it. So someone asked, can you spoil something about the Flash post-Crisis? And then they said this: previewing his February 4th visit to the Flash, is it still a crossover if Arrow is gone? David Ramsey says, there's a whole cast of characters over there that's still recovering from Oliver's death, and part of the connection to Oliver is Diggle, obviously. So Diggle's presence there serves as a kind of conduit, a way to grieve. But there's also a case, there's something to solve that Diggle's a part of. But if you were expecting Dig to bring up the glowing green whatever he's discovered at the close of Arrow's series finale, no, that doesn't happen. Ramsey makes clear, it is John Diggle over there as John Diggle, and we're working on a case. So we had sort of got something in regards to where, like, this Diggle lies in regards to the timeline. So we already knew that this was a Diggle pre-Arrow series finale. This is a Diggle in between the end of Crisis and the funeral that was in the Arrow series finale. So I'm going to assume this Flash episode takes place like a week or two after Crisis, or shortly after Crisis ended, because we're going to see the characters deal with it. But the cool thing here is that there's going to be like a case. We sort of got that from promo images for the episode. We saw at least Barry researching something and Diggle being there, but we weren't too sure if Diggle just turned up when Barry was researching a case. But now we know they're working on a case together. I'm going to assume it has something to do with Argus, maybe, or maybe something that Argus is researching. So I'm intrigued to see what it is, and whether it plays into a bigger part for the season, or it's more of just like a fun little side thing so Diggle can be there. We can get like a goodbye to Diggle on the Flash, because Diggle has been, well, he has, isn't he? In regards to like Arrow people, he's been there more than Felicity. I think he's been more than Oliver. Like Diggle, really, if you include people from Arrow, has been in the show more than any other Arrow characters, I think. I'm pretty sure I'm right in saying that. So I think it's fitting that Diggle shows up here, and maybe we get a last appearance of Diggle. Maybe. We'll have to wait and see. But anyway, they did release promo images for episode 11 for this season, which is otherwise entitled Love is a Battlefield, which is, of course, not a play on, it just is the title of a Pat Benatar song. Now, this is the Valentine's Day episode. The promo images are pretty scarce in regards to, I guess, the complete episode, which makes you think that maybe something's going on the side. The promo images usually don't spoil stuff. It's usually the trailer that might spoil stuff, or even the synopsis, but neither the promo images or the synopsis spoil anything. So I'm guessing something interesting's happening on the side, but here's the synopsis, and then we'll quickly go through the promo images. Barry and Iris plan a romantic dinner for Valentine's Day, but their evening is interrupted by an old foe, Amunet. Meanwhile, Frost gets into the holiday spirit and attempts to help Allegra reconnect with an old love. So if we go through these promo images quickly, we do see Barry and Iris together. Iris is in her black spy or undercover attire, as we'd seen in one of the trailers. Iris is definitely going to be the focus, I'd say, for the opening 3 episodes of this. I think she's going to have like an arc, if you want to call it, in these opening handful of episodes just to sort of show the exploration into the black hole or mysterious organization. Or there might be a break, and then she might get another episode later in the season. But they'll definitely kick it off here. I'm intrigued to see what it does for the whole plot line, and whether there's major movements, if you want to call it, in the story early on. But apparently episode 10 is a good episode for Iris, and I'm assuming they'd move it on to this episode. I know you can think, okay, it's a Valentine's Day episode, it's going to be blah blah blah, typical CW. But just going by these promo images, I think we're going to dive deeper into it. We do see Amunet here. She has her gauntlet thing with the shards of whatever it was. I know people don't like Amunet. I'm not going to say I'm the biggest fan. I don't mind her. I know people don't like her accent. I think it's a bit cheesy, but it's the Flash. It's a cheesy show. So she's back, but the one I was sort of surprised with is freaking Goldface. Remember Goldface? I can't remember I think someone asked me on Twitter what happened to him. I think he got knocked out. I think they melted the gold in, because he's got like gold on him on top of his skeleton or something like that. And I think they melted the gold, and Barry was able to knock him out. I think that's what happened there. But he's back, which just doesn't surprise me too much when you look at the fact that Amunet's there. But when I think about it, it's not too surprising. But I still was surprised to see him there. And then we get shots of like Iris and Barry at dinner, which is where Amunet comes in. I'm assuming this is just going to be a quick scene, and then Amulet's like, yo, what's doing? She'll dab her way into... Actually, Amunet's more of a flosser. She would floss her way into the restaurant and just kickstart off. But as you can tell, there's not much going on in the promo images outside of really a restaurant thing, and really it looks like Barry and Iris sort of hiding out while Amunet approaches Goldface. That's pretty much all that happens in these promo images. So that makes you think, okay, well, what's happening, outside of this? What's happening with... I know they say that Frost is, with Allegra for a love interest, but what's Nash Wells doing? What's Cisco doing? So what's even like Ralph doing in this episode as well, if he's in it? So there's stuff going on the side, which I think might be spoilery, maybe, but that's for us to wait and see. I don't think they do a filler episode, because this could come off as a big filler episode in episode 11. I think that's like an episode 15 or 16 thing to do. So we'll have to wait and see, but I'm intrigued. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show your support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions on what we went over. Yeah, let me know all of that stuff and thoughts and all of that in the comment section. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.